Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. So in this video, it's going to be pretty much a Awaken tier list. Now, this is going to be a combined PvE and PvP ranking for the overall ranking, pretty much. I'm not going to make a separate tier list. I think that would confuse a lot of people, so I'll just combine both the rankings and make an overall ranking based on that. All right, so starting off, let's talk about the first Awaken here we got into the game with Daniel. He's just completely outdated. Just don't build him. If you just started playing, he's going to be in your week 2 banner. Don't get tempted and pull on him. Save for your week 3 banner and pull on Ampu. Awaken Ampu is really strong, so yeah, don't build him anymore at all. He's just not completely outdated right now. So we go back to our tier list here. I'm going to put him in outdated right here. All right, so let's talk about our second Awaken here, which is Leo. Now, I'm having a little hard time deciding where to put Leo because I do have him at 810 and 89 is really strong PvP. It increases your team damage by 50%, also damage reduction, but his damage is really bad in PvP right now. He's pretty much outdated, just like Daniel. His damage doesn't keep up with the current Vanguards we have. So, like, if you look at my PvP format in Hell Arena and even Ascension Arena, I don't even use him anymore, even though I do have him at 810. I am still using Becky over him, although I would benefit more if I use the A9 over Becky. But this is pretty much like the standard team right here. If I didn't have Heimdall, I would probably be using Awaken Leo once I have A9. But yeah, he has very few uses. Maybe the only thing beneficial it would be for his A9 node in PvP, pretty much. So for that, I'm gonna actually put him in outdated. I don't suggest people building him right now if you just started. So yeah, don't build him. We're gonna get Zane Awakening most likely, so he might turn out to be good. I don't think they'll do Barak. I think they'll do Zane. We'll see if they do Barak, but that'll be surprising. I do really think they'll do Zane Awakening. So Zane Awakening should replace Leo pretty much in every content in PvE and PvP pretty much. So yeah, for that, that's why I'm putting him in outdated tier as well. All right, so let's talk about our support. So we have Mazrani, Canis, Miranda, Fiona. The rest is the free-to-play one. I'll talk about them later. And then we have Dorally as well. Those are all the Awakened supports we have right now. In PvE, I don't really use Mazrani anymore because we have A5 Canis. I used to use him way back in the past for when I needed healing, but yeah, PvE, I don't really use him at all anymore. He's just completely replaced by Canis and even Palu pretty much. Canis is probably the best support we have right now in PvE and PvP, just absolute insane. Miranda, you pair her up with Energy or Hunters in PvP lineup, and I do use her sometimes in PvE in Twilight, and I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, Twilight and Exotic Expedition, those are her only uses. Her main use are pretty much for PvP. Coming to Fiona, I do use Fiona with my assassins in PvP. PvE, I only use her in like Endless, where there's an assassin stage or a Vanguard stage. That's pretty much it. And then coming to Dorally, I don't use her anywhere except in Twilight in PvE. Her ult just kills off all the large summons, so she's really not that great outside of Twilight. So yeah, in PvP she is really good, especially because we unlocked the 6th slot. So since all the supports unlock 6th slot, I'm gonna put him in S tier because that is really important in PvP. All right, so let's go back to our tier list. Let me put in Ronnie, Branda. Let me find Fiona, and then Thorv. Okay, let me find Canis. All right, there we go. So in terms of ranking, Candace will be the strongest. I would say Sorb is the next strongest. And then I would say Maserani is the last. These two, they're about equal pretty much in PvP. Alright, so let's go to our summoners. We already talked about Daniel. Let's talk about Ampu. Alright, so commenting on Ampu, I don't really use him that much anymore in PvE. Because ever since Daji got released and Awaken Sip got released, even Small Wukong got released, I pretty much use those three outside of Ampu in PvE. The only area where I use Ampu in PvE is in Twilight when I'm pairing him with Thor, Canis, and Jaxity in higher stages of Twilight. That's pretty much where I use him. He's still really strong, don't get me wrong, but after Daji came, he just got completely replaced. Even Wukong does more damage than him in PvE. And in PvP, I do still use him in my lamp, so yeah, PvP is still S tier. So overall, I'm going to give him A tier in my tier list. So let's go back to my tier list. I'm going to put him right here. Alright, coming to Sif. Her damage is okay. She Small Wukong sometimes keeps up with her, sometimes she completely out DPS's Small Wukong by 3 times, especially in Endless. I still do use her in like Crimson Abyss. Like pretty much over here before Canis Awakening came, I used to use her to pass 37 and 38. Yeah, after Canis Awakening came, you pretty much use Canis and Jaxity here. Daji, Alu, and Dorally. Yeah, this is pretty much where I use her. Yes, I do use her in some stages of Twilight. Exotic, pretty much I do use her here as well. She still has some good uses in PvE for now. And coming to PvP, yes, I do still use her in my lineup. She's still pretty strong in PvP. So based off on that, I will be putting her in A tier as well. Alright, so that's almost all our starters. I forgot about Dorally. Now, Dorally Awaken doesn't do damage, but keep in mind what Dorally provides for the team. If you look at the common skill here, her passive Mechanical Heart, when Doraly's on the battlefield, ally summoning heroes and summoners deal 40% more bonus damage. So yeah, this is really good. She's like a support DPS, and her Awaken hero does do somewhat damage, especially if you pair it with Canis. And in PvP, Awaken Dorally is really strong, especially if you combine it with Breakthrough SP Dorally. Let me just show you how strong it is in PvP. I think a lot of people see my video on this, but I just want to show you guys again. Let me find this guy. Alright, there he is. Let me take off all of these. Let me put in my summoner prototypes. See, right? So this is a max energy king, and it's a max Sakai. He does have really strong jumps. These are all B7 pretty much. You can see, right? Pretty much almost one shot. Sakai there. Yeah, really strong in PvP, especially the SB. Yeah, in PvE, she's not going to do obviously near your DPS damage, but yeah, she provides a lot of buffs for the team, so that's where her use comes. Now, if we're talking about the Awaken version, I would give it an A tier. If we're talking about the SB version, that is an S tier. So I'm a little bit stuck on whether I should give her S tier or A tier, but I think A tier would be fine. Some of you might disagree and say S tier. Yeah, Awaken Dorally is still really strong, especially in PvP. So I think I will give her A tier. Yeah, the SP version does definitely get an S tier. But yeah, I'll be putting her in A tier. Maybe a little bit better than Sif actually. Or even actually better than Onfu pretty much. Alright, so next on the list, we're going to talk about the hunters. Now, I always say free-to-play shouldn't really build hunters because it's a pay-win class pretty much. You need Artemis for hunters to shine. Now, Smith is probably the best hunter we have right now. Definitely build him. You don't really need to build You don't really need to build any of the other hunters. Just use Smith as your carry if you're lacking the hunters. Now, talking about Ryzeris, I think she's completely falling off. Her A3 is okay. She gets more attack and you get extend everlasting nightmare duration and for the whole duration. This is her common skill right here. Basically, her common skill allows her to hit 2 different targets the whole duration of the fight. But yeah, it's kind of fallen off. I don't really use her anymore. I don't even use my hunters in PvE anymore, and I don't even use them in PvP anymore. So I don't recommend building at her at all. But if you do use the Riser, she does give attack speed boost to your team. 200 attack speed. That's the only benefit of her in PvE. Now, if we're talking about the damage between Emma, Ryzeris, and Rebecca, in my account, Emma, it's always Emma that beats the rest of these two. It's Emma followed by Rebecca, followed by Ryzeris. We're talking about in terms of damage on single target. But yeah, I don't recommend building Ryzeris or Rebecca anymore. We'll get more useful awakenings in the future. So for that, I will be putting them in C tier. Alright, so there's Emma, there's Rebecca. So yeah, I would say Emma is the best of all out of all these 3. So I just want to talk a little bit more about why I placed Emma and Rebecca in C tier. But yeah, Ryzeris will be in C tier. She's used for their attack speed boost in PvE. And PvP, I don't even run hunters anymore in my lineup. I just put in the assassins after release of the new SP. So yeah. Coming to Emma, she's our hunter that is awakened and SP as well. SP does benefit for however much attack the unit has. And keep in mind, but the awakening does give more stats, but in terms of damage, Smith is the greatest carry for that hunters have right now. So there's no really need to awaken Emma, Ryzeris, or Rebecca. I would just immortal Smith if you're a new player and have him allow him to carry you pretty much all the way through at least chapter 35 in Katoshin. So yeah, this is why I don't recommend building Emma Awakened version. Her SP is good. I would say she's the 3rd best SP right now in terms of damage. You would need SP5. SP3 does do damage, but this is where the true damage helps a lot, especially in PvP. Yeah, this is why I don't recommend building Emma, Ryzeris, or Rebecca anymore. Under Rebecca, her ult does give light shield, but with the current state of things right now, assassins with Neza and Big Wukong, they just get completely dominated, even with A10 Artemis. So yeah, this is why. Now, coming in the tier list, I would say I'm actually going to place Emma in B tier because of SP value pretty much. But yeah, I wouldn't build Rebecca or Ryzeris or Emma anymore. Only build Emma with her SP pretty much, SP5. Alright, so let's get on with tanks. Now, Pandemonium is the 2nd best tank we have right now. He is our Awakened and SP tank pretty much. I would say SP5 is good. I don't think SP7 is that great. This will help in PvP, but yeah, not that really great. You do need to get him to SP7, or sorry, Awakened 7. This is really good. Yeah, he's the 2nd best tank we have right now after Awakened Connor and even the normal Connor. And coming to Pandemonium, I still do use him in my PvP lineup. That's pretty much where I use him. I don't really use him anywhere else because my lineup pretty much for tanks is Connor, Pandemonium, Bergman, and we got Candace, and I got Pure. Keep in mind, I have Connor, right? So I need to use units that have Guardian State for this talent right here. So He gets 40% increased damage when there's 4 allies with the Guardian State. So this is why I use Pandemonium, Bergman, Candace, and Bjorn. Bjorn obviously doesn't have the Guardian State, but the energy regen she gives to Connor is really, really strong and for the whole team. So for that, I think I will place Wamigon in B tier. Keep in mind, we did get our new tank release, which was Alcor. Unfortunately, he didn't really shine that much. His kit wasn't that great. They tried to introduce a blocking mechanism into the game that just didn't really work out that well. But yeah, if he was good, he would have completely replaced Pandemonium. But Pandemonium still has his value in PvP, especially when you have him in A9. He's still in my lineup in PvP. So let me show you here. So this is pretty much where I only use him in the lineup right here. My PvP lineup pretty much. I don't really use him anywhere else in PvE. I just use Bergman instead. Alright, so yeah, so coming to that, that's why I put Wamigon in B tier. Coming to Pandemonium, I will put him in A tier. The second best tank, like I said, right? Alright, so let's talk about Vanguards. So I already talked about Leo, outdated hero. Maybe he can go into C tier, but I don't recommend building him, so I'm going to keep him at D tier anyways. Let's talk about Ares. A7 Ares is probably the strongest Vanguard we have in PvE right now. But when you pair your Vanguard with Canis, and especially if you have Heimdall, Canis benefits, or Heimdall benefits way more with Canis if you compare to the rest of the Vanguards because of his kit right here, which gives him more HP than the rest of the Vanguards when he keeps stacking HP. So that's why sometimes when you pair Canis with Heimdall, he does about 4 times more damage than A7 Ares on my count. And keep in mind this is A7 Heimdall as well. So yeah, in PvE he's the strongest Vanguard we have right now. And in PvP, he does good damage, right about second, right below my Heimdall. So I'll put him in A tier for that. Alright, so let's talk about Claire. Now, Claire's damage is really, really, really bad in PvE. She was never that strong even at release. Like, her damage in terms of PvE, she was pretty poor in PvE. She's mainly a PvP oriented hero, I would say S tier or a high A tier. So yeah, Claire is pretty much a PvP hero once you get her to A7. So for that, I'm gonna give her A tier as well. This is how strong she is in PvP right now. Alright, so let's talk about assassins. So we have Samuel and Rickard, pretty much. Now, coming to Rickard, I don't even have him at A7. I only have him at A5. I never really went for it that much because I don't think his damage wasn't even that great as well. I think it was like around Dominic level when he first got released as Awakening hero, but yeah. Now let's talk about his Awakening 5 skill. This is the most important part of his skill. The target's HP drops below 25% after taking damage from the skill. It will be instantly executed, but this is effective against Boston elites. This is the only reason I got him to A5 because it'll help me in Twilight. I literally don't use him anywhere else in PvE and not even PvP. That A5 helps a lot in PvP, especially, well, obviously I can't show here, but yeah, like in other stages where you can execute enemies, that's where I use them. That's literally the only area where I use him in PvE. Yeah, PvP, I don't really use him anymore. I don't think he was ever that good in PvP as well. So for that, I'm gonna put him in C tier, just because of his execute ability in Twilight. Alright, so coming to Samuel. I do have him at A7. He does get one more revive with his A7 to really good strong. And after each revival, he gets 25% more damage, so he gets 3 revivals in total. And coming to A7, his ult gets huge range. Really strong against summoners in PvP right now. I do believe a max Wukong team, along with Caraxius, A7 Samuel, Aaron, and A7 Fiona are able to beat summoners in PvP, even if they have max dodging A7 Sorb. They're really strong. He's really strong in PvP. In terms of damage in PvE, he's slightly behind Rose, maybe around 20 to 30% behind Rose, but yeah. He was always meant to be a PvP hero. He was never meant to be a PvE hero. He's kind of like a tank for your assassins. Yeah, his damage wouldn't be the best, but yeah. His awakening did bring him back to life. He's mainly a PvP hero pretty much after his awakening. Really strong PvP hero for assassins. So for that, I'm gonna give him actually A tier, I believe, because he could go down to B tier, but because his PvE damage isn't the strongest right now. But in terms of his PvP survivability and his tankiness, I'm gonna give him A tier pretty much. All right, so let's talk about energy. Let's talk about Luke. Now, Luke, I never got him to do that much on my account, especially in PvE. He didn't really do that much damage. He was always behind Rav on my account in PvE. Like, I think because his kit doesn't ult, especially when you have his talent turned off right here. Right, his potential, he doesn't allow him to crit. So yeah, that's pretty much why I don't think he's that great in PvE. He never really did that much damage. So, and in PvE, I couldn't really get him to shine unless it was against summoners. But right now, we did get Awakened Nor as our latest hero, and I think it's a way better replacement than Luke. Keep in mind, if you have Sakai, so let me show you my lineup right here. So you can see, right, I have 5 out of 5 because of Nord. If I put in Luke, I get it 4 out of 5. Now keep in mind, 4 out of 5 gives 37.8% damage increase and 37.8 damage reduction. Now if I put in Nord again, that bumps up to 50.4 and 50.4 for damage reduction. That's a huge increase. 30% is a lot in PvP. So I don't even use him in PvP formation anymore. So for that, I'm going to be putting him in B tier, just kind of falling off. He's not really that used anymore. The next Energy Awakening or the new energy hero would definitely replace Luke in PvE and PvP. Alright, so coming to... let's talk about Nord. Latest Awakening here we have. Now, his kit does bring him back to life in terms of damage and PvE for energy, but keep in mind he's not gonna allow you to carry outside of energy related content in PvE, unlike Smith or Canis and Jaxity combination. So for that, I wouldn't really build him at this point. He doesn't really like he's not like game changer or anything, but yes, he is the best single target energy hero we have right now, and he does almost beat Max Sakai in AoE. Yeah, I heard I don't have him at A7, but I heard that his A7 is really strong in PvP, especially this one right here against Vanguards or Assassins that are special. Like if you run a full energy team, you just keep stunning them infinitely. So yeah, I think he's a PvP oriented hero. But yeah, his PvE damage is back to life after his A5, but we might get another energy hero that might completely outshine even Sakai and Nord. So yeah, in terms of PvE, he's probably S tier right now if we talk about just energy. But like I said, right, you're not going to really use energy outside of energy related content. You have way more carries like Dodgy. Now we have A5 Canis, Jaxity, Sword combination. Yeah, he just doesn't allow you to carry outside of energy related content in the game. For that, I want to actually give him... I think he's still strong, in my opinion. I can get him to survive in PvP. I heard a lot of issues about why people are saying Nord is bad, but I can get him to survive in PvP. You just kind of need to temper your gear. You need to have 4-star helmet and 4-star HP, and also you should be having 2-star boots, your legs as well. They'll have about 6.7 HP, but yeah. His kit, it doesn't prevent the damage of SP heroes, especially Dora. That's why he still gets nuked if the enemy is using SP3 Dora. This is the problem with him in PvP. But when they are not running SP3 Dora, he's really strong in PvP. So this is why I decided to give him A tier pretty much. Alright, coming to Rav. He is our awakened and SP hero for energy. I would say SP7 is okay. At one point, she was completely destroying tanks that had Max Connor, but yeah, after Awakened Connor, that just changed the game. That just completely negated everything that Rav was able to do. I would say she's really, really strong in PvP, PvP. But yeah, right now, energy are pretty terrible in PvP. They're just getting beat by everything, even like Vanguards, Assassins, sometimes even Summoners that have SP Dora, pretty much. So yeah. I don't recommend building her right now. Maybe the next energy hero will completely release her, but keep in mind her SP5 is really, really strong. That's the only best thing about her right now in terms of her SP. Yeah, I don't recommend building her anymore if you just started. We'll definitely get a better Awakening hero with energy, and even maybe the new energy hero will be really, really good. We'll have to see on that. But right now, she still has her uses in PvP. In PvE, her damage is about, I would say, a little bit higher than Skino. Third if you compare to Awakened Nord. It's usually Sakai, Awakened Nord, and then Rab, and then followed by Skino. Yeah. For that, I'm gonna put her in. I'm gonna put her in mid actually. I don't really, after Awakened Connor, it just completely negated how strong Rab was. Yeah, if an enemy doesn't have Awakened Connor, she's really strong. So there can be an argument, right? You can put her in a mid tier or A tier, but I think B tier would be a good place for her. Maybe a low A tier would be fine. For now, I'll just keep her in B tier. All right, so coming to our last tier, we have Rez. This is their free-to-play version. You can get them, you can max them really easily. It just takes a few months from Galactic Arena right here. But yeah, pretty much when he got first released, everyone is just used to buy all these crystals and max them out. So this is why I have them at A10. You can completely free to play this. If you just started, it's going to take a long time to completely max them out. And we just got SP Res as well. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have enough currency yet to get it tested out. But yeah, Res has very few uses. I mainly use them in Guild Hunt and especially Twilight, especially when I'm pairing him with Thor, Canis, and Jack City around like higher stages of Twilight. And I do like to use them in Guild Hunt, especially like on 22 or 22 Spider and 21 Turbine. Sometimes I do use them in Whale, but it really not that strong. In PvP, I don't think, I haven't really seen anyone in my cluster use him at PvP as well. He's just not used anymore because he is not a 6-slot hero. That's kind of weird that they didn't give him 6 slots. So yeah, Rez has very few uses, so this is why I'm gonna put him in C tier. Like I said, I only use him in Twilight and few on pretty much on Guild Hunt. That's pretty much it in PvE. Alright, so yeah, that's it pretty much for this tier list. Now, some final adjustments, like I said, I'm not really sure if B tier would be correct for Rab. I would say maybe low A tier, but I really want to say B tier, maybe high B tier, like probably around here, right? This will more make sense. And then coming to Leo, like I said, right, Leo 89 is really good in PvP, but other than that, he's really useless. So this is why I want to keep him in D tier. But yeah, I think the rest of the list is really strong. Maybe Awakening Lord is a little bit stronger than Claire right now. Something like this. Yeah, this is my video, guys. If you like my video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye bye, guys.